We all know that money is a sensitive topic and the majority of people prefer not to talk about it with their partners, friends or family. But what you may not realize is that money is also a very emotional topic, and these emotions play a huge part in our bad money decisions. So in this video I want to share with you 5 most important lessons I learned from reading The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which will help you to avoid common mistakes around personal finance management, investing and money in general. So let's get started. Lesson number 1 is that everyone has their own attitude towards money based on their experience. As the author is saying, no one is crazy, and if you see someone making financial decisions that make no sense to you and seem unacceptable to you, to this person, their decisions may seem fine based on their unique life experience and worldview. It's a combination of different things like circumstances and family you grew up in, the time and place you live in, and so much more. One of the great examples of that would be investing in stocks. If you were born in 1970, the S&P 500 increased almost tenfold adjusted for inflation during your teens and 20s. That's an amazing return. However, if you were born in 1950, the market went literally nowhere in your teens and 20s. These two groups of people, separated by chance of their birth year, go through life with a completely different view on how the stock market works and how they should invest. Lesson number 2 is use your money to get freedom and control. It goes along with the common saying, money doesn't buy happiness. The author believes that happiness is a complicated subject because it means different things for everyone. But if there is a common denominator in happiness, it's that people want to control their lives. That's one of the reasons, for example, I don't buy things that are probably nice to have, like a fancy bag or branded clothes at this point of my life, because I'm solely focused on implementing the vision of my life where I have more control and freedom, and money is a tool to get there. That's why it means sacrificing something along the way in order to achieve the final goal faster. Using money to achieve control and freedom also means other smaller things, like for example being able to take a few days off work when you are sick, take more time to find a new job instead of taking the first job you find because you need money, or being able to deal with a medical emergency. Using money to buy time and options has a lifestyle benefit few luxury goods can compete with. Lesson number 3 sounds like wealth is what you don't see. The author points out the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich is a current income. Someone driving a fancy car is almost certainly rich, in the example of the author, because even if they purchase that car with debt, you need a certain level of income to afford that monthly payment. But wealth, on the other hand, is hidden. It's income not spent, nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the watches not worn, the clothes forgone, and the first-class upgrades declined. That's why our world is filled with people who look modest but are actually wealthy, and people who look rich but live at the edge of bankruptcy. Another quote that I like from this chapter is when most people say they want to be a millionaire, what they might actually mean is, I would like to spend $1 million. And that is literally the opposite of being a millionaire. And that's so true. Lesson number 4 teaches us to not underestimate the power of compounding. A small starting base can lead to results so extraordinary that it's hard to grasp. You underestimate what's possible, where growth comes from, and what it can lead to. A great example here, $81.5 billion of Warren Buffett's $84.5 billion net worth came after his 65th birthday. He began investing when he was 10 years old, and by the time he was 30, he had a net worth of $1 million, $9.3 million adjusted for inflation. Now let's say he would be a regular person, spending his teens and 20s exploring the world, and by the age of 30, his net worth was, let's say, $25,000. Then let's assume that he would still go and earn the extraordinary investment returns, but quit investing and retire at age of 60. What would a rough estimate of his net worth be today? Not $84.5 billion, $11.9 million. It's literally 99.9% less than his actual net worth. That's an awesome example of how compounding works and why we shouldn't underestimate it. And the last lesson I want to share with you today: getting wealthy is not the same as staying wealthy. Housel writes, getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But keeping money requires the opposite of taking risk. It requires humility and fear that what you've made can be taken away from you just as fast. It's important to understand that if you want to build wealth, it's a long-term game. It's about an ability to stick around for a long time without wiping out or being forced to give up. These were 5 most important lessons that I learned from reading The Psychology of Money. I highly recommend to read this book because it will change your perspective on money and investing, and you will also understand better how emotions are playing a role in our money decisions. If this video was interesting and useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to enable notifications to not miss out on the future videos. And see you later on the channel. Bye bye.